Our first video of 2018. Let's make it a good one. Hey guys, Brad here. Welcome to our very first video of 2018. It's going to be a conspiracy theory video because I really want to start doing more conspiracy theories. As last year I did a couple, I really enjoyed doing them, and I want to make this year, while also doing my reviews, both video games and the Does This Hold Up series. I want to do a lot more conspiracy theories in between those as well, as they're easier to edit and they're just kind of fun to do. So this theory is going to center around two people, Britney Spears and George W. Bush. How are these two connected, you may ask? Well, the theory suggests that Britney Spears was on George W. Bush's payroll, and she was kind of used as a pawn to distract the public whenever George Bush's administration did something. Why do people think this? Well, let's go back to around 2006, 2007. And the reason why we're going back there is because something did happen at this time with Britney Spears. If you were alive then you probably know what I mean. There were a bunch of little events, and it led up to a great big meltdown where she shaved her head, she stuffed an umbrella into somebody's window, I can't remember who it was, and she just had this great big meltdown and made headlines like a son of a bitch. I was around then, I was about 12 years old, so I remember this quite well. And it was a pretty crazy time for Britney Spears anyways, coming up in the headlines left, right, and center with that meltdown, stuff about like her kid, her quickie like 52-hour marriage or something like that. And it's said that these events were done by the government because they wanted to hide what they were doing by using Britney Spears as sort of a way to block the public from knowing what they're doing by filling all the media headlines with whatever she's doing. There is more proof into this in an article I have read. I will link it down below if you want to go read it, but I'm going to read some of the proof right off of the page, and I'll give my opinion afterwards as to what I think about this theory. Okay, so this actually started back in 2004. January 5th, 2004. President Bush needs to publicly distance himself from the Valerie Plame scandal, where Plame, a covert CIA operative, was exposed by a leak within the Bush administration. Britney sets up to the play with her notorious 55-hour marriage to Jason Alexander, which was way more interesting to the headline writers than Plamegate. April 11th, 2006. George Bush's approval ratings have hit an all-time low of 38%, thanks to the endless casualties of the controversial Iraq War. Visits from child welfare and a sheriff's deputy to Britney's home to talk about her parenting skills. Her 6-month-old baby Sean was alleged to have been injured after being dropped from his high chair, which came only 2 months after she was pictured driving with him on her lap. Managed to ensure the toxic strongsters is top of the news, though. Okay, one thing I have to say, the grammar in this is not good. I did not realize this until after I went to this article. The grammar could have been a little better written. Anyways, November 6, 2006. The Republican Party is facing the most fiercely contested election in many years. 33 Senate seats and the 435 House seats are available, and public opinion is not going in their favor. In order to divert attention, Britain announced her split from hubby Kevin Federline. February 2007. This is one of the most important ones. President George Bush announces the reformation of Al-Qaeda, which could be potentially damaging for his presidency, seeing as how he promised to hunt them down and eliminate them in the wake of 9/11. The plot on Bush's landscape is expertly diverted, though, by Brit's epic public outburst when she ducked out of rehab and shaved her head. March 14th, 2007. President Bush's Attorney General, Alberto Gonzales, is coming under heavy criticism that would later lead to his resignation for the firing of 8 U.S. attorneys. The firings were found to have been heavily influenced by assessments of the prosecutor's political loyalty to the Bush administration. Could have been awkward, but for the fact that the very same day that the Gonzales publicly admitted that mistakes were made, the headlines were full of news of Britney's hookup in rehab with a second-rate rocker. Again, the writing could have been a little better in this article, I will say. It's a little hard to read. It might not be as hard for you, but for me it's a little hard to read, so I apologize. That is all the dates. There is 2 more things we're going to mention in a minute, but I'm going to save that. Center myself here. So far looking at some of the evidence, it's a very interesting theory, I do have to say. I could see how some of these days lining up with some of went on in the Bush administration. It does make sense to me that she could have been used as some sort of like a pawn to kind of blind the public from what's actually going on in the government. This is something I do believe I could see the governments, most of the U.S. governments actually doing to this day, is having different things take media by storm to block the public from what they're actually doing. I could definitely see the government doing something like that, as I'm not exactly the type of person that trusts the government myself. As far as I'm going to go in with stuff like that, I don't want to get into too much, inner conspiracy, details and stuff like that. I just believe that this is something the government could do. There is 2 more pieces of evidence I'm going to go over quickly here, though. And one of them is interesting. It's a clip from a movie called Fahrenheit 9/11, which was a Michael Moore movie, and it shows Britney Spears fiercely defending George Bush. Here's the clip.
Honestly, I think we should just trust our president in every decision that he makes, and we should just support that, and be faithful in what happens.
Do you trust this president?
Yes, I do.
Britney Spears was not alone. The majority of the American people trusted the president, and why shouldn't they? He had spent the better part of the last year giving them every reason why we should invade Iraq.
Kind of an interesting clip after finding out about this theory, eh? Yeah, when I saw this clip, it kind of made me think a little. I will definitely say that. And the last piece of evidence on this article is kind of interesting. It goes back to 2002. And it says, a singer was rumored to have been caught canoodling with senior Bush White House advisor Karl Rove during a 2002 Cirque du Soleil, I probably pronounced that wrong, show in Rome, providing proof of an earlier link between Washington and Spears. That could be stretching it a little bit, but it's an interesting little piece of evidence, I guess. So looking at all the evidence presented, I do feel this is definitely a plausible theory. Not one that I'm fully convinced by as of yet, but it's definitely something that I can see making sense, as I believe this type of thing is something the government does even to this day. I think they always want some type of distraction to the public so they can do what they want to do without the public knowing. I think the government does get media to promote these type of stories anyways, ahead of government stuff, just so the public doesn't know what's going on necessarily, and it's distracted by more celebrity media and stuff like that. However, I'm not fully convinced. I think there has to be a little more proof for me to be fully convinced. However, it's definitely an interesting theory, and one that I enjoyed reading, and one I think you guys will enjoy reading, as I am going to post the link in the description. I guess like out of 5, I would give the plausibility like a 3.5. I think it's definitely plausible, but a little more evidence, and I think I'd be more convinced. Guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you want to see me do more conspiracy theories, give this a thumbs up. Let me know down below if there's any theories you want me to do. I really want you guys to check out my Facebook and my Twitter especially, as I'm starting to use that a little more now. My Twitter handle is Bradley_Dunn4, but it's called Studio 95, and it's linked down below, not only in this video, but every video I do. Also, please go check out my Facebook, facebook.com/mystudio95. That's linked in the below as well as every video I put out. As this is where I'm going to be posting any updates from the channel, whether it's if I'm taking any breaks, if there's any new videos coming, life updates, crap like that. If you're interested in following me as time goes along in this YouTube experience. Also, if you want to see more videos of any kind, remember to subscribe to this channel, because I will be putting out more conspiracy theory videos, as well as more reviews, and just whatever comes to mind as time goes along. So how is just subscribing? We are at 221 subscribers now, and I hope this takes off even more, because I'm loving how this channel is growing so far. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Me and Cody over here, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. You're gonna be in a YouTube video. Yeah, good boy. You're gonna be in a YouTube video. Again, like with a puppy.